We've used the if and else if statements to allow us to selectively move through our code and decide what happens at any one time. Now, if we use the case select working file, you'll see we have a copy of the last statement we had, the hello statement. And we can see that we can run that, and it says, good afternoon, Guy. Based on if the time is less than 12, else if it's more than 12 and less than 18, else if more than 18 and less than 21, etc. Now, instead of using the if statement, we can use a select case statement, which pretty much does the same thing, but depending on what you're trying to achieve, can actually be a little easier to write and be a lot more flexible. So if we create a new subroutine, let's call this sub case hello, and we'll have two variables, one to hold our message again, so msg as string, and one to hold the hour, so let's call it hr as integer. Let's set our hr to be equal to the hour of time. So that will become 13 if it's 1 p.m, it becomes 6 if it's 6 a.m, etc. And then we need to use this clever little select case. This is then followed by the item, the variable that we want to check possible variations of. Well, that variable is hr. And then case 0 to 11. Then our MSG is going to be the good morning one. Let's drop the good morning, Guy. Now, this indentation that I'm carrying out here is not actually required for the select case statement to work. It just makes it slightly easier to read. So we start with select case HR. So we want to check the HR variable for possible variations of its value. Telling it what to do at each value is then case 0 to 11, and then case 12 to, let's go for 17, shall we? So that's from 12 noon till 5 p.m. MSG going to be afternoon, Guy. Case 18 to 20. MSG equals even, Guy. Case greater than 20. So you can see a variation there. We haven't used a range. We've used the more than symbol. So if it's greater than 20, then MSG equals hi, Guy. Just for tidy up sake, I'm pulling that back to there. Now, the select case statement does need to end, and it ends with end select, so that the VBA knows when to stop checking for more possible cases. Now, the case statement, a bit like the else if really, will drop out of the select case statement when it meets a true criteria. So it will come in here. If that's not true, it'll move to the next one. If that's not true, it'll move to the next one. If that's true, it will carry out any commands between here and the next case statement. And there could be many, it could be lines and lines of them. And then it will drop out to here, which is after the end select. So let's push our little message box out here to see if this works. msbox, msg. And we want to check case hello. And it says afternoon, Guy, just as the other statement did. Now, if I change the system clock, so I've changed the time on the system to after 11 at night, I can then run my case hello again, and it says night, Guy, because it's fallen into the case part of being greater than 20, so after 8 p.m. So the case statement here, the select case statement, is used instead of an if, usually when you've got a lot of choices, because an if statement can get quite messy. You've seen up here that we've got if, else, else, can get a little untidy and a little much more difficult to follow, whereas the select case statement, extremely useful. You select case and then a variable holding the attribute that you're wishing to check all the possible cases of, and then each case is case, x to y, what to do, and you can have multiple lines there of things that are happening, and then the next case statement is the next criteria, next case statement, next case statement. When you finish all your case statements, you then simply put end select at the end, so the VBA knows when the select case statement has finished.